So we're going to talk about the case of Mackenzie Shirilla that happened on July 22nd, 2022.
July 31st, yeah.
July 31st. Everybody's talking about it because it's divided people on what they think about the case. So basically, for those that don't know, she drove her car at 100 miles per hour into a wall with her boyfriend at the time, Dom, and their friend Davion, who ended up getting a ride with them, and crashed the car into this wall. And what they're saying, the conclusion that they drew after a bunch of investigation, is that she did that on purpose. So going back a little, what we learned about Mackenzie is that she was a high schooler. She was 17 years old. She was dating this guy who was 20, right? 2021.
Let's see.
He had already graduated and he was older, 2021. He lived alone. She was living with him. Actually, her parents agreed to let her live with a guy who's 3-4 years older than her at 17 years old when you're in high school. That's crazy. So the problem starts there because I think the parents are guilty as well. What do you think? You're a parent.
Yeah, but yeah, I just assumed she was going to do the right thing. I think it's in their mindset she was just always innocent of anything that she did.
Yes.
And they're always going to back her no matter what, which that's not helping her in any way. Exactly.
So I'm not a parent, but Shelly has 3 daughters and they're all amazing. So she knows how to do parenting. So anyway, so she was living with this guy, and then I guess what happened was they were dating for about 3 years. She was trying to be like like an influencer, so she was very proactive on Instagram and posting pictures every day in this and that. And towards the last few months, he minimized posting pictures of her. And what people are saying, people that knew them, is that they were having problems. He was thinking about breaking up with her because she was a little crazy, for lack of a better word. Okay, so I guess one time they had a fight, and Dawn put her out of the house and locked her out, and she was talking to him like, you need to let me back in, you need to let me back in, you need to stop being a bee, and all these things. And he's like, I'm not gonna let you back in if that's how you're gonna behave. So her behavior was kind of bad, and he was already thinking about breaking up with her. And that night they went to a party. They went to a couple different parties, and finally at 5:30 in the morning they left the last house, and that's when she crashed the car at 100 miles per hour. And what happened was, when the cops came and looked at the crash, they were like, there's something weird here. This doesn't look like it was an accident. So they started investigating. So ultimately what the black box shows is that she was going 100 miles per hour for many minutes, didn't put her foot on the gas at all, like zero, never on the brake, yes, on the brake at all, never tried to stop. And then also they saw that while this is going on, they moved the gear from drive to neutral. So what they think is, they think that those 2 guys, the boyfriend that was in the front and the friend that was in the back, they were trying to do something to maneuver the car so the car would stop, but obviously they couldn't do it, and that's when they crashed. And Dom and Davion died on the scene, probably on impact. And surprisingly and crazily enough, she survived the crash. So she ended up going to the hospital, and and while the investigation is going on, so she's thinking nothing's going to happen, right? That they're going to take this as an accident. In fact, in the hospital, so there's 2 documentaries. One is on Netflix and one is on Hulu. The one on Hulu, they say that when they were in the hospital, she was talking to her mom in this almost like Pig Latin language. And what the cops were able to decipher is that she's saying, should I tell them that I passed out? Should I tell them that I had a seizure or something like that? And then also when she's in jail, she's talking in Pig Latin to her mom. And I don't know what they deciphered on that, but there's more to come on that, because they're trying to figure out, still what they're trying to say. So, and it's also kind of bizarre, that alone, it's like you have a special language with your mom, like in jail. I mean, that's kind of weird too. So What do you think, Shelly? Do you think she should be in jail? Or, because now there's a group of people that are saying, yes, she did this on purpose, she needs to be in jail. She killed 2 innocent people, and then there's this other group of people that are surprisingly defending her, and even when she was in jail, that was another thing that came up now. It's a phone call between her and her mom is saying like, oh my God, you're all over the news, even in the UK, and she's like in the Daily Mail, and her mom's like, yeah, and they're like laughing about these 2 guys, losing their lives and them being famous, or her being famous,
right.
Which is bizarre because you can see she has no remorse whatsoever. So
and that's the thing is she just wants the fame, and you could see that through the whole documentary is that's what she was really going for, and it's just crazy that she had no remorse. That's the thing that just drives it into being that she's guilty.
Yes.
To me.
Yes, I agree. To me as well. And I don't think she should leave. I think, her parents throughout the whole documentary, you can see how they're just big enablers. They just enable her to do whatever, whenever she wants. Mm-hmm. She can do no wrong, as you said earlier. Everything she does is the right thing. And I mean, her dad was like, oh, show me proof, show me proof that she did it on purpose. The proof is there. Proof. It's the black box. That's the proof, So I think her getting out of jail, definitely not. And especially with the parents that she has, they're just going to keep enabling her to do whatever she wants her whole life. And she's just going to end up killing somebody else for whatever reason. Or if they want to break up with her and she's not happy about it, she's going to try and kill them or whatever. So, yes, we are definitely team Dom and Davion. Yeah. She is guilty and she needs to stay in jail. Let us know what you guys think in the comments.
One of the things that I had seen was that she had done the route before. So it was, in my mind, premeditated. That she had run that course, see how it goes and where it ends, and how that she could, in fact, end, I believe, all their lives. It wasn't just trying to end their lives.
I agree.
Thought that she, from seeing that and how the impact was, I don't think she thought she would have survived.
No. And do you know how many days she did the dry run before?
I don't remember that, but I know that it was.
I think it was like 3,
just a couple days before.
Yeah.
But so that is another signal that says
premeditation. Needs to be in jail.
One inmate that had said something was that she was the mean girl on campus kind of thing. So she's still in high school in her brain. She was trying to fit in with the popular crowd. Obviously, she's not part of that crowd, but she was always just trying to be popular, trying to be on the in, trying to, be the one in the limelight. And it's just sad that that's the way she thinks.
Yeah, like Georgina George from the Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
Yes. That's totally her. And also I heard that she's taken up many lovers while she's been in jail.
She just,
obviously women, but
right.
So there's nothing to say about her. She's still trying to, like Shelly said, to be popular and be out there and get a following. And I heard she's posting things from jail, but I don't know how you do that because you're not supposed to have a phone in jail. So I don't know, but there's been that too. So basically there's nothing innocent about this girl. It's all about her 100%, and she doesn't care.
Yeah, it's her way or no way.
Yes, it's her way or no way.